Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for clicking on 5 News Web News. It is Wednesday, February 27th. I'm Brittany Hoke.
And I'm Matt Heckel, and here are some of the top stories we've been following today here on 5 News. There are just 2 days until $85 billion in across-the-board budget cuts kick in.
Yeah, and there doesn't appear to be any effort in Washington to avoid them. The White House is insisting that any new plan includes cutting tax loopholes to bring in more revenue. Republicans say that they will not approve any more tax increases. Some Senate Republicans are considering a compromise, which would keep the cuts in place, but would give the president flexibility to decide which programs and government functions to cut out. And the mother of missing Aaliyah Lunsford is now out of prison. Lena Lunsford was released from a Maryland facility yesterday after serving 8 months for welfare fraud. Earlier this month, it was reported that a Lewis County judge would not allow Lunsford to regain parental rights of her 6 other children. Her daughter Aaliyah was reported missing in September of 2011.
Well, a 17-year-old was indicted by the Randolph County Grand Jury yesterday. Thomas Chevy Voss of Daly was indicted on 1 count of murder. Voss is accused of stabbing a classmate to death in October. He's said to have stabbed 17-year-old Dustin White before a Tigers Valley High School football game against Hundred High School. We now know the name of the man who was killed when a tree crushed him in Doddridge County on Monday. The Doddridge County Sheriff's Department says 45-year-old Stephen Knotts was working to clear a right-of-way when that tree fell. The man from Shock, West Virginia, was working for Peter Goulding Sons. Other employees at the scene were not hurt when the tree fell. Knotts was cutting down trees just near Pumpkin Center Road when he was crushed by a tree that he had just cut down.
And state inspectors have issued 45 violations to Pocahontas Coal's Affinity Mine in Raleigh County after 2 workers have been killed there in the past few weeks. Edward Finney of Bluefield was the first miner to die there this month when he was pinned under a hoist that he'd been moving trash into. Hoists are used to move miners and supplies between the surface and underground operations. Now, investigators discovered that a switch that had just been installed on the service hoist had been improperly installed. The inspector called it a serious violation that indicated an extremely high degree of negligence. No word from the mine company just yet, but they have said before that they are cooperating with investigators.
Well, a woman who was injured in a house fire in Ritchie County this week, now in stable condition at the West Penn Burn Center in Pittsburgh. Family members tell us her name is Etta Spencer. Pennsboro firefighters got the call about that fire at around 12:45 yesterday morning. It happened at the Auburn Grade School, which has since been converted into a home. Flames were pouring out of all sides when crews got there. Spencer had to be flown to the hospital from that fire. Now, other people were able to get out safely. That home has been destroyed. The state fire marshal's office has also been called in to investigate what caused the blaze.
And earlier this week, a man's body was pulled from a creek in Morgantown, and investigators are still trying to figure out exactly how he died. Investigators told us that they found the body of 31-year-old Christopher Hollis in Deckers Creek just outside of Morgantown on Sunday night in an area near Delslow. According to Mecca 911, the medical examiner was called to the location a little bit after 7. There's no word yet on how Hollis died, but we're told that his body is at the state medical examiner's office in Charleston, and police are waiting on the results of an autopsy. If you know anything, you can call the Detectives Division at the Sheriff's Department. Their number is 291-7218.
Well, kids at one Marion County school were finally back in class today after a positive carbon monoxide reading had kept them home for several days. Superintendent Gary Price told us the heating problems in the main building of East Park Elementary School are fixed, but not in a separate older building. Price said the problem started last week with 2 furnaces. The furnace in the new section has been fixed after a defective piece was replaced. Gas and fire officials determined yesterday, though, that the furnace is safe to operate, but the furnace in an older section of the building will remain off, and that section of the school will remain closed. And let's take a look at what our newsroom is working on for tonight for First at 5 and 5 News at 6. First up, we're going to take a look at the new bill responding to the education audit. Why it has some teachers upset.
Plus, a new diet from the Mediterranean is sweeping the U.S. We're going to tell you why doctors are supporting it. And March is coming in and bringing cold temperatures with it. When are we going to see it warm up again? I just want it to do it right now. Chief Meteorologist Ken Meehan, though, is going to let you know in his first alert forecast tonight on First to 5 and 5 News at 6.
Now, spring is supposed to come in like a lion and exit like a lamb, right? So
yeah,
here's hoping.
I guess that's what it's doing. So
here's
we're on the right
some
track.
Nice weather is on the way.
Absolutely.
All right, that's going to do it for us here. Be sure to tune in tonight for First at 5 and 5 News at 6. Until then.
Have a great day, everybody.